Hey guys, so we got a trailer, I think it was yesterday, just an Iron Fist trailer, and it came out of nowhere and really didn't get too much people talking about it, but there was a bit of a scene in there, very short trailer, only like 50 seconds long, not just under a minute, and it really didn't show much, just pretty much Danny Rand and Colleen Wing just walking down the street, and he keeps on getting flashbacks to his training at Kunlun, and that's when we see him in a prototype Iron Fist style suit where he's in a blue gi with a classic yellow bandana mask, and he's fighting I can't think of the guy's name. He's fighting the other guy, his partner from the first season. I think it was Ramos, his name. I can't forget it. I think I forgot about his name. But they're both fighting in this. They're training, and they keep fighting throughout the whole trailer, and they get bloodier and bloodier. And I really just wanted to go around this and look at this costume and just kind of analyze it since no one else is doing it. So I figured I'd do it here and just compare it kind of to the flashback we got in the first season of Iron Fist, when he saw the video from the 1940s when he during the war, and that's when they had the Iron Fist there, the other Iron Fist who was before Danny, I guess. I'm assuming he was the one just before Danny. I don't know if there's anyone in between the two. If I'm not mistaken, from what I'd seen online when I was looking for this photo again, this is actually Johnny Young. So I think that is an interesting idea to see that. And how they did, you can see here how they did this behind the scenes photo, how they had the light up on around the arms, and he had two Iron Fists. So hopefully they can bring that idea over to Iron Fist 2 with Danny, and he can learn to use his powers a bit more and be a bit more stronger and have both fists and stuff. So I think I kind of like the idea of this. I get it for this scene, for these flashbacks, having him, in a clean, perfect gi looks pretty cool. But the mask there looked a little bit cheap and cheesy. It looked like something like a last minute cosplay someone threw on for fun, but who happens to have the gi and just made the mask in like an hour or so. It really doesn't look like there was much effort put into it, so it kind of looks a little bit cheap and cheesy. But yet the idea of the mask in the in the flashback for the war and stuff, and we saw in the last season, which we never really saw. We only saw the shadow of it, so this is just the behind the scenes photo, but that looking mask looks really cool. So I like the idea that if you had this mask and they made this one for the flashbacks, and then assumingly he'd have the same one in the modern time, which would be a different one that they would have made in props. That would be like he had the mask for this long and he's kept it, and this one looks tattered and old and worn like this one, since it's been a few years since he last trained at Kunlun, since this flashback. I think that could be an interesting idea, especially with some blood marks in it. And I think I like the kind of yellow it is, but I mean maybe it's dirtied, and it's kind of faded a little bit because of the dirt. So I think I like the idea and the look of this. I definitely can't wait to see where they're going to go with this, and I think the idea of them teasing this seems to be a tease that they're going to have him in the costume. So I think it would be cool to see where things go with that, especially since he's going to be helping out in... He did help out in Luke Cage, but he'll be taking over defending Hell's Kitchen as well as his part of the town. So I think it's really going to be interesting to see him maybe interacting with some Daredevil's characters and stuff. Some of maybe Turk Barrett and stuff like that a few times. It's usually taking on him and stuff. So I think it really could be cool to see that thing and see him kind of taking over the city. And then maybe when we jump over to Daredevil season 3, we can see a few whatever the things going on in Iron Fist. We can see that on a news tape. If maybe Matt Murdock was watching on the news, Iron Fist doing his thing, protecting his side of the city and taking his word and stuff. So I think that's really going to be cool to see where things go with that and with this costume. I think them teasing this so much now, and I think it looks like it's going to happen. They're going to put him in the costume. I feel like this is a big tease for that. I don't know why, if they have a better costume coming up, why they would tease this costume, but I feel like maybe the next season might be an evolution of a costume, and do like Daredevil season 1, where they might give him some sort of prototype costume the whole season, and then at the end of the season, we might get him into the actual classic Iron Fist costume. Now, I don't see him having the huge collarbone, the collar and stuff. I mean, they even turned that down on Doctor Strange, and he doesn't really need. He could have that because he doesn't need to see behind him because he's a sorcerer. Whereas Danny Rand, is a skilled fighter and stuff, but he still needs to see. He still needs his peripheral vision. So I think it's really going to be cool to see how they do with this. Hopefully, when we get some close-up shots of the mask, they don't do the black eye makeup. Maybe they can just have a little bit of a slit that kind of goes real tight against his his face, and hopefully they don't do the Batman style eye makeup, because I always hate when they do that, because it makes no sense when they go to take it off. They even rip it off. What was it? Batman Returns. He, from one shot to the next, he has no makeup just so that he can rip off his mask type thing. So that was kind of silly. So hopefully they can find a way to do that here, and not do that here, and just have maybe his maybe have it real tight against his eyes or something. We'll have to wait and see how they do that and how they show us how it works out. But it looks like it could be cool with this, and especially with a lot of in the trailer you see Iron Fist having shorter hair, so maybe that could be an indicator that he will be wearing the mask, and they didn't want to have too much hair, because if he had all that hair he had in season 1, would be a little bit much to kind of stuff in a hat like that. That wouldn't be noticeable, especially if it's supposed to be a cloth mask. So I think it really could be cool to see where things are going to go with that. And I think the idea at first, I would just like to see him wearing normal street clothes, just put on a mask so that he doesn't be recognized as Danny Rand, the billionaire walking around the city and stuff. And I think it would be cool to see that, because then he could easily just kind of take it off, put it in his pocket, and walk back into and blend back into the crowds and stuff. So I think that could be an interesting idea to see that. I definitely can't wait to see where things go with this costume. So the Gi idea I think is interesting, is an interesting costume, but I like the idea of the mask and stuff. Hopefully they can build onto that, and we could see where things can go with that. So I think I really like this. I'm excited to see where things go with this for season 2. My hopes are up, especially since there was a lot going on in, there was so much talk, so much dislike in season 1. So I really hope that, I really feel like they probably put a lot more time and I'm going to try their best to make it better for season 2. I even heard some interviews for Comic-Con where they straight up asked that, like, everyone hated, Iron Fist season 1. What are you trying to do in season 2 to make it better? So I think it's really going to be cool to see where things go with that. And also, if you saw his episode in Luke Cage season 2, he pretty much just shows up for no reason other than he just wants to help Luke Cage's friend, right? So that's a really cool idea. But then in the end of the episode, they don't finish anything, and he's not in the rest of the season, with no explanation as to why he's not there in the next episode, no explanation why he left. So hopefully we can get that in Iron Fist season 2. But I'm really excited to see the costume journey, which I feel like they're teasing with this trailer, and we'll have to wait and see where things are going to go with this building up to it. So I can't wait for September 7th for when that will be dropping there. I'll be doing my review on the weekends and stuff when that comes out. So let me know what you think, guys, about this costume. What do you think about it? What elements of this costume and of this costume would you like to see in the actual thing, since this is going to be a flashback of what it shows in the trailer? So let me know what you like about this and what you don't like, and let me know what you think, guys, about this in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.